Chapter 52. This is humiliating. I muttered, deadpanning as Batman loaded me up into a prisoner van while I was wearing a ridiculous getup. According to an AI art generator that many teenagers use, this is what you would look like in your villain phase. Deal with it, Batman grunted as Black Canary held in giggles at my stupid-ass outfit. Yeah, well, whatever computer you ran the damned art generator on, needs an upgrade as I look fucking stupid like this. I griped as I pointed to my blonde hair that now had weird as hell green streaks in it from hair extensions, and not only that but my so-called villainous costume was something I could see some hobo wearing with how ragged the clothes were. You are being put into Belle Reve as a new offender in the max security section after attempting to rob Fort Knox by digging a hole underneath it with your super strength. Your whole persona isn't to be some kind of mastermind, you just listen and attempt to join in with the inmates that attempt to riot or escape and stop such actions. Batman explained before he slammed shut the door to the prison transport truck that Martian Manhunter was going to drive to Belle Reve disguised as one of the guards so I would have good paperwork in the prison. Ma. You were right. I shouldn't have hung out with those weird people wearing animal-themed costumes, they really got me sent to prison. I muttered as I bunked the back of my head against the prison van wall. But soon enough I was transferred over to another prison van, this one actually filled with two more villains. Mr. Freeze, and Icicle Jr. after getting stuffed into a prison uniform. Mr. Freeze, well, he looked old, to be honest. He looked to be a man in his late 50s, bald, and the dark blue light that filled his cryo suit and kept his body alive didn't help make him look any more normal, not to mention how he was a tall and imposing man. So, what you in for? Icicle Jr. asked me as he leaned over from his side of the van, and I saw the guard armed with a large shotgun tent seeing the supervillain so much as twitch, but his eyes then locked back onto the old-timer Mr. Freeze as the man seemed to more than anything fears him more than us. Robbed Fort Knox. Apparently, Fort Knox doesn't even have gold anymore. I said coolly. Oh yeah, Knox, that's just a villain trap nowadays, they only keep documents and other crap there, but the man loves to hit us curious little guys with big crimes so they can keep sending us to these supermax prisons. Icicle Jr. complained and I nodded with his explanation as I played up being the dumb dude who wanted to rob a bunch of gold for an easy payday. Anyway, you got a sister or something? If you want, I can introduce you to mine because she can't find a villain dude around our age that doesn't want to have her be some kind of sidekick. He offered, and before I could even deadpan that I was an only child, and I didn't want a couchie that would give me frostbite. Icicle Jr. was clubbed over the head with the butt of the guard's shotgun, making the young man's head smash into the prison van wall. What the fuck? I yelled at the sight as the guard had completely blindsided the teenage villain without a single warning to shut up or anything. Wordlessly the guard turned to me and then with a smile he brought his shotguns but down on my knee, making me scream in pain as I realized I had to play up the fact that the metahuman collar had suppressed my powers. But oh, I am fucking making a mental list. First, I am going to get this dude reported by the League so he loses his job, and then I am going to learn where he lives so I can sneak into his home and have a fucking Hellgate drag him into said dimension in front of his whole fucking family on Thanksgiving. I mentally roared as the guard casually leaned back while staring at Mr. Freeze with his shotgun aimed in the man's direction but towards the floor as though asking if the older villain was going to need a clubbing as well. Seeing all his prisoners either in pain or being silently compliant, the guard took a step back away from us and then spoke out with a voice that was clogged from years of yelling and smoking probably. We are here. You will all walk in a single file line. Should you attempt to run, attack a guard, or one another, you will be shot by the automated sniper turrets. The guard spoke before the bus ground to a half, and then as the doors locks unsealed the man hurried off the prison transport, literally running across the open tarmac. Then from a loud PA system, we heard a woman's voice order us out of the transport bus. Prisoners step out of the bus and follow the designated line. As we got out of the prison van, and I played up at having a bad knee for a bit, I saw how the prison van we were riding in had a large almost cruise car-sized drone helicopter silently flying over the bus armed with missiles and a Gatling gun, and I realized why most villains escape through esoteric means and not just during transport if missiles and miniguns are going to be pointed at us the whole time. Following the designated line, we were supposed to, I saw a weird spiral-designed little tower in the induction tank, was Amanda Waller, the prison warden, and with us all lined up in front of her, she began to speak down towards us. Even as I listened to the warden's speech I took in the guards and more importantly Waller herself. Amanda Waller was a heavy-set African woman with her dreads held in a tight ponytail that fell down her back. I am the law of last resort. My name is Amanda Waller and I am not your maid, your mother, or your friend. I am your warden," she said, looking down at us with a concrete expression of coldness. "Each of your metahuman collars are built and coded to restrict your superpowers. So, no strength, nor ice will be used within my prison. In addition, these collars can and will be used to discipline inmates," she said, and then I saw her hold up the remote that was obscured in her hands, and once again I had to enjoy the same feeling of electricity meant to topple damned elephants coursing through my body, and even with super strength/durability it fucking hurt, to say the least. That was merely the warning shock. She warned all the inmates below her that bent over and almost crumbled due to the pain as she showed the large blue button she pushed on the remote while she thumbed the smaller red button above it. Should an inmate resist or otherwise refuse to cooperate, the guard will use the more extreme setting and the collars will shock you into unconsciousness and even possibly death. No one has ever escaped Belle Reve. Sure, they may escape during transport to and from trial hearings and such. But no prisoner has physically managed to escape Belle Reve before, and not even Superman could break his way out of the superalloys and energy shielding that reinforces this very prison before a whole 10 minutes passed by. Waller bragged, and at this point, I noticed the villains were just tuning out Waller. "Now this man here," Waller said, getting our attention back to her as she pointed at a man wearing a suit and as he stood beside her. "This man is actually your maid and aunt," she said jestfully as she turned around and left the man as she went back into the tower. "Actually, I am the prison psychiatrist, and I promise you all I will do my best to help you all see the light in society and be rehabilitated." The man spoke, and my face twitched at hearing the damned catchphrase. The man spoke seemingly to Mr. Freeze, as we were then all escorted by more guards into the prison's general population.